Esto es Warp Talks, el podcast de Warp, en el que creamos un espacio de diálogo vivo con los nombres que marcan el ritmo en las diferentes industrias creativas alrededor del mundo.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for your time, Suki. We are
Thank you
excited. We are excited to be able to talk with you about your music. You have been very active. In May, you released your debut album, I Can't Let Go. Now we have the surprise announcements of your new music with Milk Dead. How do you feel about that? About this great collection of songs?
About the milk tea.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for me because a lot of these songs were sort of the first songs that I ever wrote with when I really didn't have it was really kind of like finding friends that I could be like, hey, can I come over and write a song in your bedroom? And there was nothing out, it was kind of completely shooting in the dark, and all these old songs, it's funny, they've really come back around 7 years later. Good Looking was, my label at some point were like, we want, when I had I Can't Let Go out coming out, they were like, can we just erase all this old music because we want it to just be fresh and have your I Can't Let Go come out. And I was like, no, these songs are what I had a tiny little fan base of people being like, you should do an album, tiny, very small little fan base. And I wasn't really a musician. I was doing modeling and I was doing those things, and I was just always drawn back to the studio, and I put in it was kind of years of building up this little bits of courage every year, and starting to do more and more, and then the beautiful thing about the songs in Milk Teeth is suddenly 7 years later one of the songs just completely takes off, and you can go from maybe 1 million streams to 75 million in a few months. That's so I never would have thought that, not only that, I never would have thought that 7 years later that would happen and I could get this physical, that now the songs are going to be on a vinyl, and that I'm actually going to be able to have a vinyl to show my kids one day. That's incredible.
Thank you so much, Suki. Great answer. And your music feels very personal, very honest, kind of retrospective. It's like being in a safe place. So how was this process of opening yourself up emotionally to share this powerful and personal message through your music? How challenging can this process be?
I think it's been for me a really I think I had a lot to. I had a lot of things that, I think I had a lot of feelings that were very intense, kind of just coming out of being a teenager. I think I was very angry and very angsty and very quietly anxious too. And it started with just how I usually write is just sitting down at the piano and recording myself for 15 minutes, just doing a stream of conscious thought. And I think in my early 20s, I went into this I walked out of my parents' front door and I walked into kind of I was quite wild as well. There was that thing of angsty and angry and also pretty wild, and there's a lot of casualty that kind of, walking out your parents' front door and throwing yourself into a very public life at 18 comes with like there's going to be a lot of friction and a lot of like casualty in that. So, you know, yeah, I had a lot of intense feelings, and a lot of intense things happened to me that like I needed to like needle within myself. Like I had to kind of unpack myself, and there was nowhere else for me to really go but writing music.
Yeah, music plays a great role in your lives. It will always be welcome. Congratulations for this powerful music. The magic of music, I think, is the power of a universal language that it expresses. So I believe that life sometimes marks sometimes for better or for worse. You recently released Nostalgia. Personally, I think it's a song that make us connect with yourselves. Tell me, what does this song represent for you in this moment?
I think Nostalgia, it was funny, it came out on the day that the Queen died. I was like, that's a crazy coincidence for like the end of the like, you know, such an end of an era for like how I've grown up, like living in England with this kind of like this amazing infrastructure of like it was that's a side note. But nostalgia I wrote it during the pandemic when I kind of noticed that like we were myself included, like everybody was like reaching out to people that we've known before, and I think people that we think about often. I don't know if there's someone in your life as well, like that things are unfinished with, and there's like, you know, I think a lot of us, like everyone's like walking around with a broken heart about somebody that whether or not it's kind of like, I think sometimes you can like stop a relationship with someone, it can break up, and it doesn't really like close or end, and like there's still this door that's open. And I think like, yeah, during that period I felt like there was this incoming rush for me where it's like this urgency to connect with people that felt like these unfinished things in your life, and it felt like we were all gonna, like, you know, and there was like an ending of, it felt like everything that was pre-pandemic felt like the 60s or something. It feels like nostalgia. It feels like this entirely different time. Like everything after it it's different. Like this is like we're, I think people's dreams and people's lives like have changed so irrevocably. Like I think our priorities have changed. Like I think there's sort of been this like reckoning of like what we even thought we wanted. Maybe what, you know, maybe it was just like you know, I think maybe like I question too. It's like, were these dreams like what? I think I questioned like, what were my dreams and what was I like, and what have I just thought that I needed? You know, what do we think that we just need, or what have we been told to dream for? But yeah, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
So, in the great music you make, what are your main influences and being able to share? What are your main influences? And with whom would you like to collaborate in the future?
I think in the future, I mean, I love music like Amy Mann and Sharon Van Etten and Annie DeFranco. I think those were like the women that I kind of first discovered like on my own and really connected to. I think being able to like, I love like hearing a woman's voice that's like imperfect, and being able to like music that has like a kind of envelope around it that lets me like see like maybe a little reflection of someone's soul. And I don't, I like it's I think like that's like a, yeah, that's what I connect to most. But like really for the next album, it's like I feel like If I Can't Let Go was like sort of a manifestation of like the last 10 years, then right now I'm at like this kind of like empty abyss in front of me where I'm like, oh, I have no idea what is next. Like I don't know if it's going to take me, I don't know if it will, I really don't know if it will like come quickly, or if it will take a long time.
It will be amazing to see you in Mexico.
Oh, I'm desperate to come to Mexico. That's on the top of the list.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
This real and powerful music deserves to reach every corner of the world possible. Hopefully Mexico is one of the privileged places. I'm sure.
I know, and you guys have the best fans there. I think I would love it.
Is within in your plans to visit our country soon? Maybe, I don't know, any festival.
You have to tell people to book me for a festival. You have to ask them to say, if you have any friends, get them to book me for a festival. I would love to come.
I'm sure that Mexico, you will always have open arms, and I think it's all, Suki, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
This has been a pleasure talking to you, and congratulations on your new music is on the way. And the debut album is so powerful. Congratulations for this great job.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you so much, Suki.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Bye.
Suscríbete a nuestro podcast y escucha las entrevistas más relevantes de Warp en Warp Talks.